I'm going to talk to y'all about a float rig for crappie. I'm going to tell you how I do it. Y'all stay tuned. Well, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad y'all are tuning in, and I'm going to talk to y'all about how I fish a float rig for crappie. So let's get into it. So it's real easy, simple approach. You just got a cork or bobber, whatever you want to call it, and your jig. Now, me personally, when I'm fishing under a cork, when I'm fishing these float rigs, I like to use some type of hair or feather jig or something like this. You know, it's got a little plastic tail on it, but they're all hand-tied jigs. And the reason I like to use these, excuse me, is because to me, a hand-tied feather jig or hair jig or something like this, they have a little bit more of a natural appearance to them. Just a little flutter, just real subtle in their action. And most of the time when I'm fishing a float rig is because the bite's slow. And so I'm just slowing it down, keeping it in their face, and I want something that's got just a little subtle action to it. And your hair jigs and your feather jigs and your hand-tied jigs, to me, just my opinion, seem to be what works best. Now, how I fish it is you just cast it out. When it hits the water, you just let it sit there, and you just let the ripples just fade out. And once the ripples fade out, you just want to pull it to you just a little bit. And I'll say somewhere 5 to 10 inches, maybe a foot. If the bite is real slow, you know, I might just move it that 5 inches, or maybe an inch, you know, just bump it. But if the bite's a little, you know, it's slow, but it's kind of steady, then you can get into your 10 inches to a foot, and you can drag it a little bit. And then you just drag it, let it sit for 10, 15, 20 seconds, and then just drag it again, and keep just doing that over and over again. And I'll work it back probably 3/4 of the way to the boat before I reel it in and cast it back out. And that's it. That's how I fish a float rig for crappie. Another good way to use it is, say you're fishing over a treetop or something down there that you could get hung, and you want to kind of keep your bait right there on top of it, but you don't want to run a jig, you know, cast and retrieve. You don't want to run a jig through there and risk getting hung up, and then you got to go in there and mess the hole up and get it out or break your line off. You can use a float rig to set right on top of that treetop or lay down, whatever it is that you're on, that the fish are hanging on, and you can just sit there and let it just sit, and that jig will just float right above that treetop down there, and you ain't running the risk of getting hung up. And so that's another way I use it. But that's pretty much it. That was just a little short rundown of how I fish these float rigs for crappie. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that's tuning in to my videos and subscribing and giving me likes and comments. If you like the video, give me a like, comment on it. Let me know, you know, how I'm doing. Because every bit of engagement that I get, that just pushes my videos out to more people, helps my channel grow, and so just help me out a little bit. Come on. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm about to get out here and start fishing. I thought before I got started I'd kind of let y'all see what I'm fishing with and kind of tell y'all a little bit of how I fish it. And but I'm about to get to fishing, so before I get out of here, just remember that Jesus loves you, and so do I. get into the Word, seek God, and see how He can change your life. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm about to get to fishing. There we go.